All right, good afternoon, geometry students. So this was your challenge from this morning to try to figure out what is the measure of angle OMG, this guy right here. And so let's take a look at this. The thing is, if I tried to use right triangle geometry and maybe drop a perp, I wouldn't know this height. I would know this length. I mean, I wouldn't know enough information to use any of my sine or cosine or tangent. So right triangle trigonometry is not going to help me. If I tried to use the law of sines, well, you know, we've done the law of sines before to try to figure out what is a missing angle. If I tried that here, I would get the sine of m divided by 5 is equal to the sine of g divided by 8. And boy, look at that. I have two variables. Can't deal with that part. Or I could say the sine of O divided by 11. And no matter which two pieces of this I take, I'm not going to have enough information to figure out any of those angles. So the law of sines, completely unhelpful. So I wonder if the law of cosines is going to help us. Because the law of cosines, I mean, we've found that we can use it to find a missing side, but we've not used it yet to find a missing angle. Let's see if it would help us. What I know is that if I write down the law of sines here, I would say that 8 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times 8 times 11 times cosine of the angle that I want is equal to the opposite side squared. And it looks to me like I've got a single equation with a single variable. I think I can work with that. All right, so really what this comes down to now is arithmetic. If I want to solve for this piece right here, what do I need to do? Okay, so I think what I need to do is to try to get this cosine m on one side all by itself. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to get these guys here over to this side of my equation. So I'm going to subtract them. So negative 2 times 8 times 11 times cosine m is equal to 5 squared minus 8 squared minus 11 squared. And then I still want to get this by itself, so I'm going to divide by these guys here. So cosine m is equal to 5 squared minus 8 squared minus 11 squared. That whole thing divided by negative 2 times 8 times 11. All right, so now we need to put this into our calculator. And I just want to make sure that a couple of things are happening. Number one, please make sure that you are still in degrees. So, and if you're using a TI-30X, you're just going to type it in exactly the way that you see it, except if I do this and then hit divided by, I'm going to have a problem. Can you see why? Can you see what's happening here? Order of operations is telling my calculator that the only thing that's being divided here, right here in this step, is the 11 squared. Okay, so this input here is going to get you the wrong answer unless you use your parentheses. 5 squared minus 8 squared minus 11 squared. Close those parentheses. Divide by. Now here I don't need the parentheses because it's going to multiply first. But you know what? I'm just going to be careful and get my denominator. That way I just got a nice pattern. My numerator's always in parentheses. My denominator's always in parentheses. I hit equals. And so now I have that cosine of m is equal to 0.909090 and on and on and on. And now all I need to do is take the inverse cosine of that answer, and ba-boom, I get 24.61. Okay, so what we learned from this is that I can use the law of cosines when I have a side, side, side scenario to find a missing angle. All right. Things to be careful of. When you put something like this in your calculator, do make sure that you get everything there in parentheses so that you don't have any order of operations issues. Hit equals here to get a value first, and then hit the inverse cosine to get your angle. All right, I'm going to give you a couple of problems to try, and by couple, I actually mean couple. I'm going to send you 2 this time. All right, cheers, folks. I'll see you tomorrow.